$5,000 grant, $10,000 grant, $50,000 grant. Big grants that Congress wants you to have. But in this video, I'll be going over those grants and free stimulus for CARES Act 1 grants you can get right now. Viewers are getting $6,000, $7,000, $10,000. One viewer got $15,000 in less than 24 hours because of this channel. I'm getting viewers money right now, not weeks from now. Meantime, what's going on hazard pay? Are you going to get hazard pay? And can you get what's called bonus pay? Yes, bonus pay. That's an additional sum of money that has nothing to do with the federal government. Meantime, breaking developments. Is anyone going to be putting hazard pay into any bill between now and the holidays? And if so, what happens if you work as an essential worker during the holidays? Will you get the hazard pay retroactively or not? This is Purple. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm so glad you're here. This is Purple with big developments about hazard pay, grants, free money, stimulus, and more. If you worked as an essential worker anytime during the pandemic, you're still working as an essential worker, Uber, Lyft, grocery, warehouse, Sam's Club, Walmart, stay with me in this video because I'm going to be going over all the money for you. If you've not subscribed to this channel, please do. I'm giving viewers money right now. Not 5 days from now, not 5 months from now, but right now. I'm getting viewers thousands of dollars. Viewers are saying I've changed their lives. I've absolutely given them an enormous amount of money, got to them a lot of money to carry them not 1 month, but 6 months through the pandemic. We all know that stimulus checks are coming, but they need this money right now. And I want you to have this money right now, so please subscribe to this channel. I'm updating this every single hour as something new comes in. Also, like this video. It helps with the video appear higher in the rankings. In this video, I'll be going over the $10,000 grant, the other $10,000 grant, the CDC grant, the $50,000 grant. Grant means stimulus. Grant means free. Grant means stimulus check. It's another word for stimulus check, but the word stimulus check generally refers to the one that comes from Treasury. These come from other departments of the federal government or state government. Then I'll be going over the $50,000 grant. Next, hazard pay. Then bonus pay. And finally, money pay right now. Boy, it's a great Friday. I'm glad you made it to the weekend. Congratulations. Stay with me. I'm not going away this weekend, so I will be here updating you by the minute of every breaking detail as it comes in. And let's get to the breaking news. The breaking news as you sit here today is that viewers are getting thousands of dollars in free money within the last 48 hours. Hundreds of thousands of dollars have been gotten by viewers of this channel because they followed my advice on how to get free grant money right now. If you're on SSI, Social Security benefits, you qualify. If you're an independent contractor, you qualify. If you're laid off, you qualify. Don't sit back and say, I don't qualify. Moreover, the important thing to understand is that you know this money is there. Every state has it, and you have to understand that there ultimately will be a person you pick up the phone and get on the phone and say, I don't know what you're talking about. I've never heard of this. I don't know where you're going. You need to go down the street and talk to someone else. Ultimately, hang up the phone and politely call someone else because there is no answer in this book and there is no giving up in this fight. Let's go over the details. First, there is money available in your city, county, and state for you as free stimulus money. The states, every state, was given big sums of money, lots of money, from the federal government under CARES Act 1. It was $150 billion. Just a few weeks ago, all the states said, hey, we have a problem. We've not used the money. We need to use it or lose it. So the CARES Act money grants, free stimulus, is available in the next few weeks after December 15th. I might not be making these videos because many of the grants will be gone. At that point, they have to return the money to Congress. So how do you find this money? How much money is it? Let me go over how much money it is and what it is. 99% of the time, it's a rent grant. It's a rent grant. What if I don't start with a what if I, just go get it and ask them when you find it. The first thing to understand is it's generally several months. The smallest I've seen is 3 months. It has generally been about 6 months to 1 year. Next, it's not based upon any type of rent. So I'm only this type of rent person. I'm only that type. No, I've had viewers get rent at $850 a month for a year. It's a lot of money. It's not just a few pennies in the fountain. It's a lot of money. It's much more money than a $500 stimulus check for the Temple of Doom. Why would you not want it? Do you have to repay it? No. Is it debt? No. It's free money. Next. Does it include utilities? Yes, it includes utilities. What if you're not behind on your rent? Does it make a difference? What if you've been evicted or you're facing eviction? First of all, if you're facing eviction, you should be doing the eviction moratorium, which I detailed on yesterday's Holidays LALATE. Next, it should not disqualify you from the rent. That's the purpose of the rent grant, to get you caught up on the rent. Next, how do you get it? There is multiple ways, and I will go over additional things that viewers have found that have been very helpful to them as well. First, you call 211. Second, you call your city hall. Third, you call your state housing authority. Fourth, you call your county hall. You don't call the governor's office. You don't call the fire department. You don't call the police department. And you don't call the governor and say, LLA told me to call you. I don't know the governors. I don't go to lunch with them. I don't know one governor. Well, I do know a few names of governors, but I've never met them. So don't be calling people and say, hi, there's a guy that wearing purple told me to call you and say hello. That's not going to get you anywhere. When you call up, you ask for care. You ask for COVID grants. COVID grants, generally rent grants. That's what you're asking for. If you're calling up asking for money to fix your truck, they're going to look at you and say, what are you talking about? Ultimately, there are rude people on the phone. I'm going to be very frank to you. Some of these people are rude. One person on Twitter said, I can't believe the person called me all these names from the government agency while I called on the phone. There are going to be rude people that pick up the phone. Next, there's going to be people that are uninformed when you call them on the phone. I had one person from one governor's office say, we don't have anything. You go to their website. I found it for the viewer. It's right there. There's a rent grant. It's open for 3 more weeks. I said, go apply. The governor's office doesn't know anything. It's not their department. I'm going to be very polite to them. It's not their department. So go get the money. Next, can you get a stimulus check? Some places have stimulus checks. Orange County, Florida went live on Monday. I think it was 20,000 viewers, and not 20,000 viewers, 20,000 residents in 15 minutes got the grant, but I ran the video, and then a few hours later, someone still got the grant. So thank goodness for that viewer. Next, just because you can't find it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. I had one viewer say, I can't find it in New Jersey, and minutes later, I had someone in New Jersey. One person said, there's nothing in Florida. I had 7 people in Florida within 20 minutes that found things in Florida. So understand, don't be negative. Keep on pushing. Next, there's private grants out there as well, and they're a little bit more complicated. I'm not going to say much about them other than say that viewers had success with them. Some of them were United Way with Salvation Army on rent, and some of them were Church of Latter-day Saints for food. I don't know anything about it, but ultimately you can look for those as well. Next, let's turn to hazard pay and money right now for hazard pay. Let's go over this first. There's a thing called bonus pay, and bonus pay is being paid by groceries and by some big box retailers right now, but they're calling it bonus pay. They're not calling it hazard pay. It's hazard pay because they don't want to say their place of work is hazardous. So you need to reach out to the HR department, the human resources department. If you work in a major big box retailer and say, hey, I've been here working for this number of weeks. Is there some bonus pay? And you generally and you will qualify for it if it exists. I don't want to say which ones of the big box retailers that are, but I remember at least 3 of the major U.S. big box retailers had bonus pay now. Then, a lot of the supermarkets are delivering bonus pay as well. Some of the unionized supermarkets and some of the non-unionized supermarkets. They did it before and they're doing it again. Additionally, remain on high alert because a lot of the supermarkets are under pressure to spay it again because of the ramping up of COVID-19. So you could get bonus pay. I had one viewer say that they got a holiday pay of $500 because they were working at a local grocery store. Understand, it's not called hazard pay. It is hazard pay. It's called bonus pay when you're in a local environment. This is between you and the employer. Next, cities and counties. Yes. So some cities and counties have bonus pay or hazard pay for frontline workers. Look for that as well. Okay, so now let's turn to the big hazard pay, the $10,000 hazard pay. And let's talk about that $10,000 grant and the other $10,000 grant and the $50,000 grant. What's going on with all these grants? How do I get them, LALATE, and where are they and what's going on? First, Joe Biden wants to give you a $50,000 grant, and so does the Temple Doom. It's called the Lifeline Grant. It's $50,000. Next, EIDL grant, the $10,000 grant. It's coming back in two phases. One, there's a return of a new round of $10,000 EIDL grants, but there's a push, which I believe will happen, to restore the remainder of the $10,000 EIDL grant to viewers who never got the grant the first time around or got $1,000 but not the remainder of the $10,000. That's hundreds of thousands of viewers of this channel who never got the grant or got only a part of the grant. Then we have the issue of the CDC grant. If you're an essential frontline worker, has any type of, essential worker, there's another grant that the Temple Doom and Joe Biden want to give you, which is under the CDC grant. The amount of that is unclear. It's underwritten by CDC. Next, hazard pay. Boy, where is hazard pay and what happened and what will happen? If you tune into Purple Power Live every night at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, I go over who are essential workers or not. I have viewers tell me what they do and I say essential or not. The important thing that I advise the viewers is that hazard pay is not coming right now. This is not money right now. It's money thereafter. Do I see hazard pay being passed before December? No. Do I see hazard pay being passed after December? Yes. Where has hazard pay gone? It was in the bill. It was out of the bill. It was in the bill. It's out of the bill. Where is it now? Who knows? What's the dynamic of hazard pay in the negotiations? Here is where it sits. It's $10,000, and let me give you the calculations. It's $10,000 if you worked as an essential worker anytime during the pandemic from January of this year all the way from 60 days after the pandemic ends. It's definitely needed. These are frontline workers. These are people who are risking their lives. They should be paid additional money. How much more money? $13 an hour times the number of hours you worked from that period of time. So you take the number of hours you worked, time decide $13 an hour, and it gives you a number. It's important to understand that if you are working as a independent contractor or a sole practitioner, you can get this as well. You need to just know how many hours it is. If you reach that threshold, bam, $10,000 in your account. If you reach the threshold below that, bam, that amount of money in your account. What's important to understand, the $13 an hour will continue after that. There's only two circumstances which you wouldn't get the $10,000 if the application goes in, which is first, that you made too much money in 2019, then you'll get $5,000. Or that you haven't done the number of hours, then they have to recalculate them. Okay, so what's the big rub for hazard pay? The big rub is who applies for hazard pay. You don't apply currently. I don't like it. The way the Temple Doom and the Democrats have written hazard pay is to have the employer maybe apply. Maybe? Basically, the employer applies and may apply and doesn't have to apply. It doesn't make sense. It basically says the employer has discretion to apply or not apply. So why would an employer do that? It doesn't make sense. Ultimately, this is a problem. Problem with the problem solvers bill? No, a problem with the hazard pay bill. It basically says the employer can choose not to apply. I don't like it. Why? The employer may go belly up. Second, the employer may not be around. Third, the employer may not like you. And so why are we putting this burden upon the employer to apply for you? You should have the ability to apply. This is why you have to be on social media and tag everyone involved and say, revise the bill. Hashtag Purple Power Hazard Pay. Get the message out. It doesn't make sense. Next, what's going on with the negotiations for hazard pay? Is it in? Is it out? Where is it going and how is it going? This is what you need to know. In the period of time in which I've covered hazard pay, which has been every day at 4 o'clock for upwards of 3 months, I have seen the hazard pay bill provisions talked by both sides, I think, 3 times. 3 times in several months. Every single day that I've recorded this video, I've seen them talk 3 times. My concern is that they don't care about essential workers. They always talk about how they're concerned about paying salaries for fire, rescue, and certain civil servants in the state. Mitch McConnell, The Democrats say we can't have states unable to balance their budget because the states will lay off their essential workers and not pay them. This is not Uber and Lyft. This is not truck drivers. This is not grocery store workers. This is not teachers. These are civil servants. And so ultimately, what's important to understand is who is looking out for you besides you and me? It's not very clear. There's a big push by the lobbyists, by the unions to get hazard pay pushed. Unions for grocery stores? Yes. Unions for pharmacies? Yes. Unions for truckers? Yes. They want the hazard pay pushed, but ultimately, Congress has not really kept hazard pay a front page discussion. The best news that I've seen about hazard pay is that Joe Biden wants you to have hazard pay. He talks about it in his transition papers. He talks about it in his campaign papers. His papers released in the last 7 days say, I want to pay these people hazard pay essential workers. So would you get it? I think you're going to get it. Why are you going to get it before the holidays? I don't think so. How do you apply and when would you apply and what do you need to know? What you need to know is that if you have to apply, you have to be very ready. When I have detailed hazard pay on a local level or state level, I have had situations which I've reported where the hazard pay bills in a state level went live and they were gone. The funds were gone in a few days. There's going to be a mad rush to get the hazard pay money. It's going to be use or lose, first come, first serve. So let me give you an example. A hospital has 20,000 employees. The hospital will apply, 20,000 employees will get the money. You're coming around saying, where's my hazard pay? Guess what? 20,000 people just got it right before you. So you need to push and follow and be ready to get it right away. So please subscribe to this channel. Subscribe because I'm getting you money right now and I'm keeping you informed how to get the money ahead of time before it's gone. No one wants to see something wonderful gone before you get it. Also, like this video. Coming up next is being a Mitch. Big developments on Mitch McConnell and your stimulus with also Chuck Schumer. Then evenings LALATE. Big developments on check at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and save LA for more.